Okay, this is the practice test for test number 2 in CSCI 202, and we are looking at problem number 1. We need to write a program. We have teams going across, and the players on each team, so this is player 0, player 1, player 2, and player 3, and team 0, team 1, team 2, team 3. And we are going to ask for a sum. We're going to write a function that will add up the numbers in a row is basically what we're doing. We're going to pass in the scores, which is a two-dimensional array. We're going to pass in the row number that we want for the team, basically the team number. And we're going to pass in the size of the array, the number of columns that are in the array. And we can't assume it's always going to be 3. It's going to be a number that gets passed in. So we need to write team sum. And we're going to scroll down here a ways, and so here's the end of our main program, and team sum is going to return an int. So it's going to be static int team sum, and we're going to pass in a two-dimensional array of integers. So you got to put the comma in there to indicate it's two-dimensional. And I'm going to call it score. And then I'm going to pass in another integer, which is going to be the team number or the row number. I'm going to use row. Maybe that might be a little more clear. And then we're going to pass in another int that tells how many columns there are. And I'm just going to call that cols. Okay. And so what I want to do here is I want to add up the numbers. So I need to have a place to store the sum. So I'm going to declare an integer called sum, and let's set it equal to 0. So I haven't read any numbers yet. And now what I want to do is I want to work my way across this row. Okay, row is the first index, so this will be my first index, and then my column index will vary from 0 up to, but not including, the number of columns. Okay, so it's a simple for loop. When you're working your way across a row in a two-dimensional array, it's basically the same algorithm as working through a one-dimensional array. So for int c equals 0, c stands for column, C is less than the number of columns, and C++. And what I want to do is I want to take the number at that column and add it onto sum plus equals. And the score at that position is, score is the name of the array, and I'm on row called row and in the column called C. Okay, and then I return sum. So it's pretty straightforward, just a little for loop here that is your standard loop for stepping through a one-dimensional array, and a row in a two-dimensional array is basically the same as a one-dimensional array. So now the only thing I need to do is comment out all this other stuff so that I can run the program and test it. So we'll go up to here and we will comment that out, and then we will run the program and see how it goes. And I forgot to put a read line on the end. Not. Should be 31,000, should be 33,000, so somewhere I made a mistake. 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I stopped here. That is the number of the last column. It's not the number of columns, so I interpreted the problem wrong. So I did leave the read line in. Okay, so less than or equal to the number of columns. Now let's run the program again. See if we get some better answers this time. So 31,000 and 33,700. So if it works on those two rows, it probably works. And if you used this as an upper bound for your for loop instead of building the number 3 in, then it will work even if we try a different sized array. Okay, that's it for problem number 1. We'll do problem number 2 in a separate video.